Hello, Internet Land. You are now watching Movie versus Book, and we are going to be doing a review of Ender's Game.
Yes.
So, I am Anita, and this is Kat. This is Kat, and I have seen the movie, and so has she, but she has read the book, and I haven't. And so now this is going to be the quickie review. So, I went and saw the movie. And I say that when this comes out on DVD, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy this movie on Blu-ray because I very much enjoyed it. And that is my personal opinion for the movie overall. What about you?
I really enjoyed the movie. And having read the book when I was much younger, not understanding it, but having it be one of those odd fictional influences in my life that, people tend to have, the movie had to be like a certain high standard for me to even,
I remember before the movie you were hyperventilating.
And I will actually be buying this DVD when it comes out. Absolutely. I mean, aside from the story, keeping along with the plot of the book, it was beautiful. I mean, the movie was just pretty.
The absolute favorite points of this movie that you're just like, this is what I saw in my head.
The battle school was my main, they're not going to do it right. They did it right. They did it fantastically well, keeping in mind that there were a couple things that were not the same, but it looked really good. I mean, it looked really, really good.
What did you think about the actor's representation of each character?
The guy, I can't remember his name, horrible with real names, but Ender was... They couldn't have done better. They couldn't have done better with Ender, Graf. Anderson kind of threw me a little because I believe in the book Anderson is a little, more hardcore, but I mean her actress was awesome. Dap was a little bit different. He's kind of nicer in the book, and they made him a hard ass in the movie, but that was okay because it came across really well. And again, Graf, right? Who doesn't love Harrison Ford?
Right.
I mean, he's like the original Rogue to begin with, and to see him be this hard ass in particular was just, whoa, that's awesome. So yeah, I thought they did excellent with the casting. I think they really did well.
I guess those were excellent points. My favorite parts of the movie is I really liked the whole battle school sequence too, but I really liked how Ender dealt with a lot of the situations where he was violent and in certain points a little overly violent, but then, and why did you kick him that extra 7 times? To make sure that he would never want to come in after me ever again. I won this battle and all the ones in the future. And I'm just like, evil genius.
They made like a big point of that in the book was that, yeah, it was violent and it was horrible, but he did it because. He didn't just do it because he's a violent little shit. He did it because he didn't want this to happen constantly. Okay.
Some of the gripes that you had about this movie.
In the book, a lot of it has to do with Ender becoming this leader, this end-all, be-all character. He goes through all these stressful things that, one does when you're growing up, and they kind of cut them short. In the book, he actually shuts down. It's in the battle school when he gets his own army, and they just keep throwing games at them that you have to play, you have to play, you have to play, you have to win. And he has all this pressure to keep his people together and winning these games because they're undefeated. And it gets to the last game. They basically cheat to win the game. Not that you knew that, but
right.
In the book.
No, I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, what they did in the book was the way that they win the game in the movie is a cheat. It's cheap. It's not like a fair win, but he was so tired. He just couldn't do it anymore, so he went for the quickest way he could think, and boom, won the game. He literally broke down after that. It shows the little scene where he goes back to Earth and he sees Valentine. Yeah, that was a much longer scene in the book. He was actually on Earth for like a month before he got before they brought Valentine to him. He was broken. He was broken. He literally had to put himself back together again. That's how much stress he went through to get to that point to keep helping him.
Now, I have a quick question. How old is Ender supposed to be?
Oh, God, he's like preteens. 10,
Like,
11.
Oh, that young.
Yeah,
he's
like, there. Yeah, in the
because
book.
in the movie, he almost looks like to be 13.
13, 14 in that area.
About like 13,
it's not
14.
that big of a difference, but he's definitely like pre-puberty, preteen, you know.
My big gripe is I wish that they would have gone into a little bit bigger background of Valentine and Victor, because I know from you telling me about the book that Valentine, his sister, and Peter, his brother, were really big moral dilemmas and decisions in Ender's entire existence. Like, it was basically, if I do this, I'm going to act more like Peter. But if I do this, I'm going to act more like Valentine.
In that world, you're only supposed to have 2 children. You are only allowed 2 children. They commissioned Ender's parents to have Ender, to have a 3rd child. Because Valentine and Peter struck out. What they wanted was a mixture of Peter and Valentine, making Ender. So literally, Valentine and Peter are Ender's moral compass, where he keeps ticking back and forth. If he starts to lean too far towards what he feels Peter is, he's doing it wrong. And if he leans too far over to where Valentine is, he's doing it wrong. So he has to keep, you know... And you kind of see that in the movie.
Like, basically a metronome between the two of them.
Exactly. What he wants to be is, like, right in between the two of them.
And that was, like, one of the things that I was kind of excited for, because I'm just like, oh, there's going to be, like, a lot of moral choice and moral decisions, and I felt like they touched on it, but I felt as though, like, there should have been way more emotional power behind a lot of that.
And there is in the book.
So now we're going to get to the fun part. Spoilers! Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
One of my main gripes, this is in the book, that, and I honestly feel that they should have touched on this a lot more. I think I was talking to you about this after the movie, was when he gets together with his other launchies, everybody kind of liked him. And he was talking with them, and people were sitting with him at lunch eventually, and he, like, won everybody over. In the book, they respected Ender. Mm-hmm. They thought he was an excellent leader figure, but that was it. You know,
so in the book, he was living a lot more solitary, lonely.
Yes. I feel it's implied. I don't like it. Implied love thing with Petra, not okay. Because in the book, he's a little kid, and no, he doesn't even know what girls are, you know, he's just like, I'm about to destroy a whole, you know, video game colony of our worst enemy, my girlfriend. No, it's not like that.
Luckily, they never kissed in the movie.
I know, but it looked like they were going to.
But it did. It seriously looked like him and Petra were going to hook up, and I remember I was sitting next to her, and I'm like, do they hook up?
Yeah, and I'm like, no! I'm like, you're getting irritated.
Because here, like you said, Ender in the book is supposed to be like a 10 to 12-year-old kid.
Yes.
Petra, what is she? Is she supposed to be like 16,
13,
17?
14. Yeah, in the book, she's like 13, 14. She's a little older.
But you know, book. They had to throw that little bit of teen romance in there.
So worthless. Let me think. 2 seconds. But the thing that I love that just gave me goosebumps when I read the book and gave me goosebumps when I watched the movie, which I didn't think was going to happen, was when
the virtual
the playground game in the game in the book, the fallen over castle in the movie on the planet, and then he goes in there and finds the queen egg.
Right.
That just gives me chills.
Now, in the book, there's still in the movie, the queen is still alive.
Yes,
but she's dying. In the book, it's just the egg.
Yes, I believe the egg is just what's talking to him. Because the egg contained all memory of her people. The queen egg is fertilized. Mm-hmm. She's basically ready to start.
It's basically the Rachni.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically the Rachni.
She's pregnant.
The Rachni before the Rachni.
she as soon as she breaks through that egg, she's having baby Formix.
But what did you think of their interpretation of what the buggers are supposed to look like?
I thought they looked great.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
She was like a lot more beautiful than I thought
thought
that they
she
could
would
make
be.
a giant cockroach look.
I actually was thinking praying mantis myself.
Yeah, she kind of looked like
She
a
did.
hybrid between like a cockroach and a praying mantis, or like one of the leaf praying mantis.
Yeah. Oh, that's because when she looks like a dried up old leaf.
Yeah.
And then she like falls
Yeah,
apart
yeah.
and turns into Valentine.
Is the ending to the movie the same as the ending to the book?
Aside from the queen, the ending of the book, they destroy the world, their home world, and Ender finds out that it was that's the real battle. Wait, you mean it wasn't just a video game? And they're like, holy shit! And then of course Ender like wanders into his room and basically passes out. He literally sleeps for 3 or 4 days straight because they haven't been sleeping. You will catch that. They have not been sleeping at all. They've been doing all these fights just consecutively and maybe getting an hour here, half an hour there. They haven't been sleeping. So not only did he find out he just destroyed an entire species.
Mass genocide, yay!
He's fucking exhausted and he's not stable. So he like
mentally unstable.
He locks his door and passes out for days. He's done. When he wakes up, they tell him, and mind you, this is in the book, not the movie. They tell him, you can't go back to Earth. You can never go back to Earth because as soon as you land, you're going to be arrested. People are going to try to kill you. People will love you forever. You're going to be in all of the history books. Because
wait. Why are people going to...
Political reasons. He destroyed an entire species.
Planet.
Yes, an entire species is on his head.
But wasn't that the whole point, was to destroy them?
Yes, it was. But it doesn't matter.
Hypocrites!
No! What do you think about Earth now? Like, don't do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that.
Well, then where the fuck is Ender supposed to go?
Exactly. Well, there's millions of planets to explore, and in the next book, it's really cool, which I'm not even.
Wait, there's 2 books?
There's like 3. Actually, there's 4 books.
Oh,
I don't know
this.
I don't know if they're going to do a sequel or not, but I kind of hope they do because the next book is really interesting. The next book, he actually finds a place for the queen to live.
I'm so curious if BioWare stole that idea.
Yeah, they
about the Arachnid, because this book came out way before.
Oh my god.
Way before Mass Effect. And then, because you can take Dragon Age in a Game of Thrones and be like,
oh, yeah.
Nope, you took that. Nope,
oh,
you took that.
The Black Watch could be Grey Wardens.
The Black Watch, Grey Wardens,
hey.
the Blight, the White Walkers.
I see some similarities here.
Buggers, Arachnid, murdering, complete genocide, queen, let go.
That's another thing, too. Valentine and Peter are actually pretty much taking over the planet Earth.
Oh, yeah, that's what you were telling me. Like, politically, they were destroying.
Mind you, Valentine and Peter are like, what, 1 and 2 years older than Ender is in the movie, in the book. And they get online, their version of the internet in the future. And mind you, they are certified geniuses. They literally take over the political system slowly, but they do it. They take over the political system, and Peter, the hegemon, I don't know what this term is. This could actually be a real term. I never looked it up. The hegemon. And he's like the overall leader of the planet. He's like the ruler of the world.
Yay! You got like the fucking psychopath leader of the world.
Yes. And Valentine actually stays on Earth for so long, and she leaves and goes out on space because they've found other life on other planets. It wasn't just the Formics. You know, they've explored other worlds. They can do that. And there's other places for them to go and explore. And Valentine left. And eventually her and Ender hook back up. But Peter is on Earth. You never have to deal with Peter again.
Right, because he's basically running the world.
Exactly, and that's all he wants to do. Because he's fucking crazy. But whatever.
So, yeah.
Which I kind of wish they had touched on that in the movie. But I don't know how they would have incorporated that and still kept it within certain confines.
Basically what they did is they're just like, Ender is the main focus of this movie. We just need Peter in there long enough to show that Peter is an asshole, Valentine's the good guy, and she's going to help Ender become what he needs to be.
Exactly.
So
that makes sense.
All in all, and spoiler, that is our likes, gripes, and thoughts on the movie Ender's Game and movie versus book.
I highly recommend both.
There's not going to be any real bloopers at the end of this.
No, probably not.